going to look up the word provident. It means to plan carefully for the future. So when he says, make no provision, what he's saying is, don't be preparing yourself for the right environment to gratify your flesh. Some people prepare themselves for sin. They know that what they are doing is stimulating all kinds of emotions. They continue. What you are doing is that you are making provident supply. You have carefully thought of the future. And then you are initiating structures now that will guarantee that flesh is gratified. That's how some of you became weak. The fornication looks like you were helpless. How did you become helpless? What did you do as providential care that weakened your will to say no? What did you do? What did you do? Some people will say, I'm a homosexual because I was born a homosexual. It's in my genes. There's nothing like a homosexual gene. The matter of homosexuality is not biology. The matter of sin is not psychology. As much as the devil is powerful, and we don't have the time tonight, I will deal with that next week. As much as the devil is powerful and he has his role to play in these matters, many times men have become slaves by providence. They carefully made provision. You know how you go and stock your store for the future? They say fuel scarcity. Nupeng is going on strike next week. Then you go and buy fuel and leave it in gallons and say, when the scarcity comes, I will use. That's what he's talking about by provident supply. Forethought. Many of us have fed ourselves with all kinds of lusts, and you are wondering why you continue to see pictures of sexual immorality in your dreams. Some brothers can be very useless. Any small thing, they are touchy. Every sister around them, they want to be touching her body. You don't know what the brother is doing. He's filling his storehouse. Filling his storehouse. He never talked to sister rich any place. Say, see your fine hair. Oga, leave her hair alone. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. You are sitting down, there's no chair. You say, sister, come and sit on my lap. After all, we are brethren. Providential care. All kinds of movies are on your phone. You have not fornicated yet. But what you are doing is that you are filling your storehouse. It's only a matter of time. Flesh will rule you. You don't like betting. What are you doing on betting sites? What are you doing there? You don't like alcohol, but you are surrounded with all the people in your life are drunkards. It's only a matter of time. Providential care. Any sister God sends your way, you have turned mentorship relationships into sexual relationships. Nobody is safe around you. What is attractive in a 5-year-old? God help my heart. Don't let me say things that I will regret. A 5-year-old. Then you even attempted to penetrate her, and God, so kind, you took scissors. How does a man get to that? It's called provision. Provision. I need to ask you tonight, what provisions have you made? What loopholes have you kept quietly? Which Hagar have you carried from Egypt that is growing in your house? Growing in your finances. Growing in your self-control. You are making excuses for it. Then when you begin to struggle now, you will come and say, you don't know why Satan is doing you like this. You are the one that made provision. I'm dwelling here because this is man's biggest struggle. The struggle with his flesh. The second tool that sin uses is the world. Do not love the world or the things of the world in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not where? It's not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is what? 17. And the world is what? And the lust of it. But he who does the will of God does what? Give me NLT, quickly. NLT. Go to verse 16. Verse 16. For the world only offers what? Offers only what? A craving for what? What is the second thing? A craving for everything we what? And pride where? These are not from the Father, but from the world. One of the most potent tools of the world at this time is the media. Media. Whether it is social media, whether it is traditional media, television, radio, is a potent force. Many lives have been sacrificed because the world is projecting a craving for physical pleasure. Craving. You can't even, if you say you want to watch comedy, because some people feel that I'm extreme. Say, so we'll just be living in this world. So a Christian cannot even be entertained. Okay. Say you want to watch comedy, you want to listen to comedy. Look at the things that they share. How does that help your soul? A grown man says he's doing comedy and his emphasis is the shape of women's bodies. A craving for physical pleasure. The world. Go to their movies now. Go to their movies. What is in the movie? The world. He says all it offers, craving for physical pleasure. And this craving has killed some people. Some of you, desires have crippled you. That's how your prayer life has died. But the Lion and the Lamb tonight, he wants to bring you deliverance. I hear him saying to me, he said, I want to make somebody whole. Some of us, our lives have become damaged like that dark clay that became damaged on the wheel of the potter. But God can make you again. If not that God had the ability to make a man again, how could I ever have become a preacher? You don't know the cracks that were in my life. You don't know the damage. The damage. It got to a point in my life, I was weeping in prayer. I said, Lord, I don't deserve a good woman to marry. Don't give me a good woman. I looked at the things I had done. I said, if you give me a prostitute, I will marry. That is the level I deserve. My life was battered, bruised, damaged. It's the only me that Satan put homosexuals on ground to abuse. I was struggling with that one. I was staying with an uncle. House girl will not leave me alone. I was a young boy. You know, they don't want to talk about sexual abuse that happens to young boys. They talk about girls. If some of us open our mouth and tell you what we have been through as men. Today is International Men's Day. Some men you are looking at as survivors. But that damaged me completely. Finished my mind. The same me. But somehow, Satan was working over time. God was just waiting patiently. It doesn't take God eternity to do something that is eternal. No. He was waiting patiently. The day I cried like Peter. You know, Peter was sinking and he kept his mouth closed. He was about to drown. Then all of a sudden he lifted up his eyes and he saw Jesus. And he cried out. He said, Master, save me. Jesus said, I've been waiting, Keseniea, I've been waiting. I put my hand in his hand. It has taken a while. Because I wanted to show you tonight that spiritual growth is not instant. There is something that is called progressive sanctification. It takes time for God to make a man. When he pulls you, something else will be pulling you back down. He will be dragging you. The good thing is that if you keep your hand in his hand, he will not let go. Many times the reason people sank is not that God let them go. They let God go. I grabbed him like Jacob. I won't let you go. I held him. So even when flesh will be drawing me back, I will be struggling. Lord, my life is in your hand. I'm not a dog. I won't go back to my vomit. I know I masturbated again yesterday, but weeping may endure but for a night. I refuse to die like this. If you raise men that walked out of immorality, I must walk out. I must walk out. I began to learn how to say no. When the pressure becomes too much, I'll say no. Then one day I found out that I was no longer in the river, that I was now walking side by side with Jesus. We were walking on the water together. And Jesus was saying, Keseniea, see what I want to do with your life. And then I looked at where I was coming from and I said, if it had not been the Lord on my side. What will Israel have said? Who dashed monkey banana? That this cultist, former cultist, will be a preacher. I say to you tonight, there is nothing Satan has done to your life that is an excuse for you to be an addict. Nothing. Put your hand in his hand.